Have you ever met someone who genuinely enjoys being alone? Not lonely, not depressed, just alone. The person who skips parties, who disappears for days, who feels relieved when plans get canceled, who can spend an entire weekend by themselves and feel completely fine. Most people assume they're antisocial, but psychology suggests something far more interesting because many people who prefer solitude aren't running away from people. They're running towards something, and that something often begins in childhood. Here's what most people don't realize. As children, we're supposed to learn one very important lesson, that other people are emotionally safe. When a child is upset, scared, excited, or confused, they naturally turn toward others, a parent, a sibling, a trusted adult. And if those emotional needs are met consistently, the brain learns people are a source of comfort. But what happens when that doesn't happen? What happens when expressing emotions leads to criticism, or being vulnerable leads to rejection, or asking for help leads to disappointment? The child learns something else, something they never consciously choose. They learn that depending on other people is risky, so they adapt. And this adaptation is brilliant. Instead of seeking comfort from others, they learn to create comfort by themselves. Instead of sharing their struggles, they handle them privately. Instead of relying on connection, they rely on self-sufficiency. At first, it's survival, then it becomes personality. Years later, people look at them and say, "Wow, you're so independent." But independence can sometimes be a scar wearing a medal, because underneath that independence is often a child who learned that being alone felt safer than being disappointed. And here's the twist most people never see. Many of these people actually like other people. They enjoy deep conversations. They care deeply about friends and family. They're not avoiding connection. They're avoiding the possibility of emotional exhaustion because their nervous system learned a long time ago that solitude is predictable. People are not. That's why being alone feels peaceful. Not because they hate others, but because solitude doesn't judge them. It doesn't reject them. It doesn't demand anything from them. And once the brain associates solitude with safety, it can become incredibly difficult to give up. But here's the important part. Preferring solitude isn't necessarily a problem. In fact, some of the most creative, thoughtful, and emotionally aware people spend large amounts of time alone. The question isn't whether you enjoy solitude. The question is why. Are you alone because it energizes you, or because somewhere deep down being close to people still feels dangerous? Because the answer to that question can reveal a lot about the child you used to be and the adult you're becoming.